My name is Apurva. By allowing the presentations, I grant permission for it to be uploaded and shared across the various social media platforms and the official website of the ICAPITAL Academy and the Corporate Advisory LLP. In this topic network, we will understand and learn the importance of using the part and the CPM models techniques for the project management, knowing the main difference between the part and the CPM network. Part is the program evolutions and the review techniques, and the CPM is a critical path method. Understanding the phases of any project and the various activities that need to be done during the phases, constructing network diagram with the single and the three time estimate activity involving in the project in determine the probability of the completing the project on or before the scheduling date, knowing how to update a project allowing with the resource leveling and smoothing, crash project schedule time, and establishing a time cost trade-off for the completions of the project. Hence, we will first see the background and development of the part. Has the part scheduling in another fundamental activities in a network analysis when it comes to the planning and controlling of the project. These are the two important methods in network analysis, which are a part and CPM. Among the network analysis techniques, the two commonly used the program evolutions and the review techniques and the CPM method. Part the part development the development of the part. First we will see the origins. The part originally known as the program evolutions review techniques was acquired by the United States Navy in 1957 for the Polaris Mrs. Submarines project. The purpose of the implementing this protocol was to coordinate the challenging functions and make sure to facilitate the project schedules. Certain rules in the project were highly exposed and complex, so they could not be managed effectively through the traditional models, which includes subcontractors and thousands of the tasks or different phases concerning with a part of a patterned approach to deal with the probability of the risk and dependency of the tasks. The purpose of the part uh, it was meant to handle a complex activities and a dependency and guarantee the accomplishment of the project uh, phases on the schedules. It was used when the time of the task involved in the project was unpredictable and could take a wide range of the time from the part standard for the program evolutions review techniques, and it was meant to handle complex activities and dependency as well as a guarantee the accomplishment of the project phases on a schedule. It was used when the timing of the tasks involved in a project was unpredictable and could take a wide range of the time frame Future part is a probability with a deal with the uncertainty activity times by using a three-time estimate optimistic, most likely, and permissive. The approach allows the project manager to anticipate potential delays and plan accordingly. Background, now we will see the background and the development of the CPM. The origins, CPM was developed of the DuPont corporations and the remediations ranks in the 1956 to assist the management and the large scale project. The first use was in the construction industry when accurate approach to schedule and the monitoring the repair of the chemical compound facilities. Later on, the procedure was applied to other sectors of the economy. The economy purpose, the CPM was created to address the project management needs in the constructions and the manufacturing industries. It focuses on the optimal allocations of the resource and the identifications of the critical tasks that must be completed on a time to avoid the delay in the overall project. Features. CPM is a determining focusing on the time cost trade-off in the project management by using a single time estimate for each activity. This approach helps project manager to optimize its project schedule and manage cost effectively. Stages in applications of the path. Project identification. In project identification, the project scope and objectives clearly outline in the goals and the objectives and the deliverables accepted upon a completions. These steps involves defining the major tasks required to achieve the project objectives. A list of all the tasks and activities required to complete the project, break down the project into smaller and manageable tasks. Each task should have a clear objectives and outcome. Task sequencing, identifying the independency between the tasks, identifying the sequence in which they should undertake tasks if each of the activity has to be completed at a various stage. This implies that one activity may have to wait for another to complete, while some may be done in parallel. Develop a sequence of the activity based on their dependency. Set out what links their work need to be logically and all associated dependency taken into the considerations. This steps is useful for plotting the activities and detecting where are the major process constraints are shown. Time estimate. For each task, estimating the time required using the three estimate optimistic time, the shortest time in which the task can be completed if everything goes perfectly. Most likely time, it is the most probably time required to complete the task under the normal circumstance. Pessimistic time, it is the longest time that the task might take if the complications arise. Network diagram. In network diagram, uh, we are drawing a network diagram representing the sequence of the tasks. Use a nodes to represent the events and arrow to representing the tasks. The network diagram usually gives the flow of the tasks and their dependency, calculating the expected time for each task using the formula to calculating the accepted time. Critical path identification. Identifying the critical path. The critical path is the longest path in the network with the shortest overall project completion time. It includes all the tasks that directly impact the project completion date. Any delay in the task will delay in the entire project. calculating the earliest finishing time for each task, determining the earliest start and the finishing time for each task, calculating the latest task and the finishing latest task for each of the tasks by performing a backward pass, determining the latest task and the latest finishing time, monitoring and controlling, regulatory update the part chart with the actual progress, continuously monitoring the progress of the tasks and updating the part chart, note down any changes, identifying the manage and delay or change in the project schedule, adjust the project plan as needed to accommodate a change and ensure that the project stay on the track. Network analysis with the part defining the network analysis using the parts involve detailing examinations and optimistics of the project schedule to ensure the timely completions, and the following are the steps for the network analysis: defining activities and the milestones. In these steps, the project is a breakdown into the smaller tasks and the criteria for completion of the each task. Constructing the network diagram using all the data, drawing the network diagram based on the defined activities and their dependency. This network diagram help understand the flow of the task and identifying the potential bottlenecks, estimating the activity duration. The 3 points estimations technique is used to calculate the estimated time for each activity. This technique involves calculating the optimistic, most likely, and permissive time, and then using the formula to find the expected time. Calculating the earliest and latest start and finishing time. Identifying the critical path. The critical path is evaluated by the identifying the path with the zero slack time, analyzing the critical path, monitoring of the activities on the critical path should be emphasized more since any to this activity will automatically slow down the whole project. These steps require project monitoring and evolutions to check whether the project is on track and then make necessary modifications. Review and adjustment. Regularly review the progress of the project and make the adjustment as necessary to the stay on a track. This include updating the part chart with the actual progress and the revolutions the critical path if any change occur. Determine the The real world examples, the real world example of the applications are the constructions industry due to its acquired accuracy. CPM is widely employed in the constructions of the building bridge. Determinations of the critical path list all activities. First of all, one should identify all the activities needed to perform the entire project. A unique identifier should mark each of them as an activity. Identify dependency. Defining the dependency between the activities, determine which activity can only occur if they are carried out before others. Draw the network diagram. Develop a simple network diagram based on the established activities and their interrelations. Labels activities using the circle or any geometric shapes called nodes while connecting different nodes using the lines known as arrows. Estimate activity duration. Assign an estimated duration to every activity. Perform forward pass calculation. Compute the early start and the early finish for each activity based on the progressing forward through the network from start to finish. Perform backward pass calculation. Calculated the latest start time for each activity and the latest finish time for each the activity, starting with the finish time and the start time respectively, and working backward through the network. Identifying the critical path. Identify the critical path with a zero slack. The difference with slack is the difference between the uh, LF and the EF, or the LS and ES is zero. Applications of the CPM in project management. Here are the various ways in CPM techniques is used widely in the project management. This is an important tool that enable project managers to keep track of the work schedule, timelines, cost, and the any other factors that may affect the completions of the project. First one is construction project. CPM is widely used in a construction to plan and schedule large project. If the critical path is known, a project manager is able to optimistically allocate resource, schedule, rise subcontractors, or the complete the tasks on a time. For example, in the construction of the high rise building, activities such as laying the foundations, framing, and finishing are closely linked and required coordinations. It is effective in determining of the right sequence for the executives of these tasks. Manufacturing. In manufacturing, CPM assists in managing the manufacturing process, managing maintenance, and the creations of the network product. The critical path helps identifying the areas where the manufacturing might be experiencing some amount of delay, and can also help in reducing the kind of the time wastage in the production. For example, in a manufacturing line, manufacturing automobile crucial activities like engineering, fitting, painting, and final checking follow the CPM in order to facilitate the efficiency in the product line. IT project in information technology project, the designer CPM help the designer the software integrate it and put other structures of the information technology in place. It is very useful in ensuring that the core activities such as the coding, testing, and developing the applications and the software are undertaken on time. For example, in the process of creating a new software application, CPM assists in deciding when to code, test the applications, and train users in order to meet the date when the program must be released to the public. Event planning. Event planner applies CPM to facilitate the process involved in the arrangement events, including conference, weddings, and business events. From determining the critical path, it will be easier for planners to organize different activities, from booking halls to ordering foods and even inviting people to attend the events. For example, during the organizations of the corporate events, the key activities such as a selecting of the locations, arrangements of speakers, and mainstreamings of the advertisements are strategic and coordinating under the CPM. Research development. In R&D activities, CPM assists in managing the sequence of the activities in experimentations, developments of the prototypes, and their testings. The critical path is important since it is helping project managers to know the activities that are the importance in achieving the project activity objectives. For example, in pharmaceutical research, many tasks such as a clinic trial, gaining regulatory approvals, and introductions are controlled by the CPM. There is a one real world example as a Delhi Metro project. The usage of the CPM is a clear in Delhi Metro project, which is a mass rapid transportation systems implementing in India. Some of the challenges include the nature of the constructions work, the arrangement made with the other parties to the project, and the pressure of the time constraint. Through the applying CPM, the project manager were able to determine which is the most crucial activity in the project, how to allocate required resource, and when different phases of the constructing the metro should be completed. This then lead to the success of the metro systems, which lead to efficient transport in urban center of Delhi. Benefits of CPM. First is improved scheduling. CPMs provided a timeline for the project tasks, help a manager to schedule activities effectively. Resource allocations. Resource allocations help identify the resource needs and allocation them optimally optimally to the critical tasks. Risk management. After identifying the critical path, project manager focus on high risk tasks and implementing various risk management strategy. Project control. CPMs allow better monitoring and control of the progress of the project by ensuring tasks are completed on a time. Decision making. It helps the significant informations that assist managers in decision making. For example, shifting agendas or altering resource to handle such complications. Limitations of CPM. Complexity. CPM become a very complex for a large project due to the tax and the dependency. Statics nature. In static nature, activity duration is assumed to be the fixed resource constraint, and CPM does not take into account resources that may be needed for the project and hence have the impact on the sequencing. Focus on time. It's important to understand that cost, quality, scope, and the time are all interconnected, and that CPM principle centers on the time only. This is the problem of the network. Constructing the network diagram for the project with the following activities. Uh, Activities events for 1 to 2 and the name of the activity that was done from the activity events. This was the starting event and this was the end event. For the starting event, activity event was started from 1 to 2. So for we will start with the 1 and 2 for 2, and we will allocate them as the A, as this was 1 and 2's name of the activity. And for the next tasks, for there is the same as 1 and 3. So we will do the same as we will put 1 as the common and make the second one B with the 3 as it shows it there are. And for the same, 1 was a common for the 3 activities and 4 was from that one. So we will locate the C from the 1. And from that 2, we will allocate the 5. From 2, we will go to the 5 and allocating between them 2 to 5. In between them, we will allocate the D. From 3, we will go to the 6, and in between them, we will allocate the E. From 3 to 6, we will allocating E. From 4 to 6, we will allocating F in between them for 4 to 6. And from 5 to 6, this was the uh, from 5 to 6, so we will join them and allocating G between them. For the part problem, there is, as if we know, the optimistic was the earlier started. Before that, we will see the difference between the part and the CPM. The, the part in the part, the three estimators are used to perform the weighted average of the expected computations of the time of the each activity based on the probability distributions of the completion timings. Is basically a tool for planning and controlling of the activities. The part network diagram and the part network part and the CPM network components and the decision relationship. Events in the network diagram are represent the project milestones such as the starting and of the completions of the activities. As there will be the sum of the dummy row as well. When the two or more parallel activities in a project have the same head and the tails events, two are connected with the more than one arrow. When two chains of the activity have a common event, yet are wholly or partly independent of each other's a dummy which is such as a case to establish the proper logical relationship in is also known as a logic dummy activity. As there is the formula for solving this type of the questions, and these are the estimated time. These are the formula A plus 4M plus B upon C. A is the A is the optimistic time and M is the most likely time, and B is the multiplications of the optimistic time and the most likely time. So we will just put the in the formula. We will put the values from that tables and we will get the answer. And for the variance, these are the formula. Bracket b minus a whole square are 2, and for, as we know, for b we will For B, we have the um, optimistic time into most likely time, and for uh, A, we have the optimistic time to calculating this, and after that we will getting the accepted time from this. So we have to use these numbers for a network diagram. A is 5. So from if A is 5, so we will add it to the 1 to 2 for A, and for 6. 6 was B, so we will put the 1, 2, 3 as a 6. There is no common 1 or 2 as shown as the first question. So we will do that, and from that we will, as these are shown, these are the roots as A, D, F is the first root, then A, C, E, G is the second root, B, E, G is the third root. As we are seeing that, so we just put the number and see which are the root taking the most less time, or which are the root who's taking the most higher time. As we know that, as we can see that the AC EG is a critical path as it is taking the most highest time for reaching, and accepted project completion time is 18 days. Earliest and latest time. As there is in this question, there is a dummy row. For this type of the question, for we will allocate A in between the 1 to 2 we allocated A, and as we already get that how to draw the diagram, so we will just go further. As in between there we have to put the values as 2, 2 plus we will add 2 plus 3, so we will get 5. As in this we have 2, so we will put it here 2, and for that 2 plus 8, we will get 12. 12 minus 12 minus 6, 6. 6 minus 4, 2. So we will, from this we will for this side, from starting side we will plus the numbers, and from end side we will minus the numbers. So we will get 0. And this is the table that we will see. EI is the earliest occurring time of an event. This is the earliest time for an event to occur immediately after all the procedure activity have been completed. Previous activities have been completed without delaying the entire project. LI is the latest allowable time of an event. This is the latest time at which an event can occur without causing a delay in already determining project completion time. Earliest starting ESIG, earliest starting time of an activity. This is an earliest time an activity can possibly start without affecting the project completions. LSIJ latest starting time of the activities. This is the latest possible time an activity can start without delaying the project completions. We will take this duration, calculate the table and activity durations has a EI is a G as we will get EI has an 0. For EI is starting. We will put the column. We will put in the EI column and the starting time and in a LI we will put the from the ending point of view. Latest finishing time we will put the LJ. Uh, uh, LJ is the formula for the slab. Will be there is a formula has Li minus Ei. So we will get the tail slack and the head slack. We will have to calculate the formula by using the formula Lj minus Ej. In game theory is a generic term involving complex situations of the particular sort. Game theory is a set of the tools and the techniques for decision under decisions under uncertain involving two or more intelligently if party known as a play. Game theory is a theoretical framework for concerning social situations upon completing layers and producing optimal decision making. Committing on the program has frequency and the frequency of the game refers to the situations, conflict, and the competitions in which two or more competitors or participants are involved in decision making process in anticipation of the certain outcomes or a period of the time. The competitors are referred to as a player. A player may be an individual, a group of the individuals, or an organization. A few example of the competitive and the conflict decisions environment that involve the interacting between two or more competitors, where the knowledge of the theory of the game may help them in selecting an optimal strategies. Pricing of the product, where a firm ultimate sale are determined not only by the price level its select but also by the price its competitors set. Various TV networks have found that a program's success largely depend on what the competitors represent in the same time slot. The outcome of the one network programming decisions have therefore been increasingly influenced by the corresponding decisions made by the other network. Success of the business tax strategy greatly depend on the position taken by the internal revenue service regarding the expenses that may be disallowed. So success of an advertising marketing campaigns largely depend on the various types of the service offered to the customers, etc. As an area of the academic studies theory of the game provided a series of the mathematical models that may be useful of the completing the interactive decision-making concept where two or more competitors are involved under the conditions of the conflict and the competitors. But it is a practical tool, so it is limited in scope. However, such models provide an opportunities to a competitors to evaluate not only his personal alternatives, course of the action, but also the intentions of the opponents or a competitors. Possible choice in order to win the game. Game theory is not a existence in 20th century. However, in 1944, John Glenn, Newman, and the Oscar a book named Theory of the Game and Economic Behavior, in which it discussed the business environment. The author approach was based on the principle of the best out of the worst. The model is in the theory of the game can be classified based on the number of the players, sum of the game, and losses strategies. Number of the players if the game involves only two players competitors, then it is a two-player game. However, if the number of the players are more, the game number is referred to the n-person game. Sum of the gains and losses if in game and the sum of the gain to the one player is expected equally to the sum of the losses to other players, so that the sum of the gain and the losses are equal zero. Then the game is said to be the zero sum game. Otherwise, it is usually to be the non-zero sum game strategy. The strategy for the player is the list of all the possible actions, more of the course of the action that he will take for a very payoff might be arise. It is assumed that the player are already aware of the rules governing the source. The outcome resulting from the various choice is also has to be players in advance and is expressed in terms of the numerical values. Here, it is not necessary that the player have a different information about each other's strategy. Particularly, the strategy by which the player optimistically hits a gain or losses without knowing the competitor strategy is called as an optimal strategy. The expected outcome for player when the players follow the optimal strategy is called as the value of the gain. Pure strategy. This is the decision rule that it is used by the player to select the particular strategy. Thus, each player know in advance all the strategy out of which he plays always selected only one particular strategy. Regarding of others player strategy, the objective of the player is to maximize their gains or the minimize their losses. It's a strategy, courses of the actions that are to be selected on particular uh, some of the fixed probability are called as fixed strategy. These are the probabilistic situations and objective of the players is to maximize the expected gain and or to the minimizing the expected losses by the making the choice among fewer strategy with the fixed probability. Payoff, where the payoff quantitative measure the statistic that as the players get the the uh, end of the play in terms of the gain or losses, and just like their particular strategy course of the action can be represented in the form of the matrix called the payoff matrix. Since the game is zero sum, the gain of the one player is equal to the losses of the other and vice versa. In other words, one player payoff table contain the same amount in pair of table of the other players with the sign changes. Thus, it is sufficient to construct a pair of table only for one of the players. Assumptions of the game theory. Each player has available to him a finite number of the possible strategy course of the action. This listed may not be the sum or same for each player. Players act rationally and intelligently. List of the strategy of each player and the amount of the gain or losses on an individual choice of the strategy is known as the each players in advance. One player attempt to maximize the gain and the other attempt to minimize the losses. Both players make their decisions individually prior to the play without communications between the both. Both players select and announce their strategy simultaneously so that the neither player has an advantages resulting from the direct knowledge of the other player's decision. The payoff is fixed and determined in advance. Types of game theory. One significant system used in the game theory is the dividends them according the divide them according to the numbers of the players, the sum of the total of the result, the sequence of the actions, and the level of the information. It is therefore the desirable to know these types of to be able to apply the proper models in a given set of circumstances. Cooperative. Cooperative game player can perform bidding agreements and coalitions. So the focus is now how groups of the players can collaborate to achieve the best outcomes. Non-cooperative games, no bidding agreements are allowed, and each player act independently to maximize their own payoff. Symmetric. Uh, in this type of the game, the payoff depends on the strategic choices, not on who is playing them. If two players swap their strategy, their payoff remain unchanged. A systematic game in these types of the game we play often depends on both of the strategy choices of the players themselves. Players have different tools or information leading to different payoffs for the same strategy. Zero sum game. One player gain is exactly equal to the other player's loss. The total payoff for all the players is zero. Non-zero sum game. The total payoff for all the players can be more or less than zero, allowing for the possibility of the mutual gain or the mutual loss. Simulation simultaneous game players make their decisions at the same time without knowledge of the other's progress. Sequential games player make decisions over one after another with each players aware of the previous actions. Perfect game perfect information game. All the players have complete information about the previous moves and the game structure. Imperfect information game. Players lack information about some aspect of the game, such as the previous actions of the other or the certain payoffs. Applications of game theory. Game theory provide valuable insights and the tools for addressing various strategic issues in management. It helps managers to understand the competitive dynamic negotiations between the teams to make the informed decisions, business negotiations. It is also help in analyze of the negotiations process where a number of the parties have conflict objectives or the interests, but can ideally cooperate. Methods such as the Nash bargaining solutions give direction on how two parties can come to mutual suitable agreement. Competitive strategies. It is a tool that firm employ and to understand the predict probable actions from the competitors and by coming up with the strategy that may give them edges or their competitors. There are different industrial organizations model that seeks to explain how firms compete in terms of the quantities and the price, including the competitions models and the o- occasions and bidding. Occasions are significantly activated in the existence of the game theory, and it is crucial to plan and participate in an occasions. It is assist bidders in learning how to bid strategically while helping the occasioner create strategies structures that will offer the most profit. For example, the victory occasions granting the breakthrough receptions completions by the participations. Market entry and exit. This apply to the finding out the best strategy to choose either to venture into the market or to pull out from it. Bargaining strategy. Look into a position where threats can be made credibly to potentially intensify an existence strategy like it can take into the account likely to recreate reactioning of the competitors and the market. Pricing strategy. Game theory is resourceful in the process of arriving at the appropriate price level that firm must be set in order to optimize their profit in the face of the competitors' likely actions. Some promising research directions include the price war strategy of the collections and the price discrimination, supply chain management, mutual choice theory, help in supply chain coordination of whereby inventory policy, supply choice, and contractual terms are enhanced in assisting the firms in bringing together the bonus and ensuring conducted operations in the chain of the supply, voting and collections of the decision making. In organization, game theory is applied to evaluate voting models and make systematic groups choice. It is useful in processful sound and equitable in systems and the procedure for voting and for assisting the nature of the populations, corporate governance, the theory of the game offer solutions to the work with the different interests and the coordination of the shareholders, managers, and the other participants. It assists in the formulations and the evolutions in certain hazard the control systems in order to enhance the conditions of the personal interest and the corporate governance. Nash for the game theory, first we have to first we have to see the row minimization, column minimization, finding this max means from the row. And for the column, we will find the mini max, saddle point in optimal strategy and value of the gate. First, we will see the minimum number of each row and then see the max, minimum number of the each column. And from then, we will see the common number from a minimum and maximum. And that common number is our saddle point. Winning theory. Winning theory is a common situation that occur in everyday life. It is that winning or the waiting in a line in queues uh, are usually seen at a bus stop, ticket booth, etc. Uh, Queues are also found in workshop where the machines wait to be repaired or at a tool where the machinery is waited to receive tools. In general, queues is formatted at the queuing systems when either customers uh, customers requiring service way to the fact that the number of the customers exceed the number of the service facilitating or the service facilitating do not work effectively and take more time than prescribed to the receiver customers. Winning theory can be applied to a variety of the operational situations where it is not possible to accurately predict the arrival rate of the customers and service rate of the service facilitating to the facilitated of the facilities. In particular, they can be used to determine the level of the service, either the service rate or the number of the service facilities. The manner is the following to calculate the cost. The cost of offering the service, the cost accruing to the delay in offering the service. The first cost is associated with the service facilities and their operations, and the second present with the cost of customers waiting time, observing and increasing in the extensive service facility would reduce the customers waiting time, commensurately decreasing the level of the service would result in long queues. This means increasing in the level of the service, increasing the cost of operating service facilities, but decreasing the cost of waiting. Since the waiting is difficult to estimate, it is usually measured in terms of the loss or of the sales or the goods when the customer is a human being who has no sympathy by the service. But if the customer is a machine waiting for the repair, the cost of waiting is measured in terms of the cost of lost production. Mainly, structure of winning systems. Customers are defined as the uh, customer defined as the those in the need of the service. A few examples of the customers are a customer that require the service are generally at a different time of calling the population commonly known as the input source. The way in which the customers arrive at the service facility individuals or any batches As scheduling or unscheduled time is called as arrival process. The customer's entry into the queuing systems depend upon the queue's condition. Customers are selected for the service according to the certain rules known as the queue's disciplines. A service facilitator may be without service. If the service is either at the time of the customer's arrival, then the customer is served individually. Otherwise, the customer is asked to join queue or wait line, which may have a single, multiple, or even the private line. The order of the service may be random, but opportunity on first come first serve basis or some other order. The queue can be considered to be either infinite or the finite. The first one is the calling population characteristic. Facilities. The input applications are calculated by size of calling population. The calling population needs to be the consistency of the several subpopulations. For example, patient arrivals at the OPD of the hospital are usually of the three categories. Patient with the appointment and the emergency patient. Each patient class places different demand on a service facility, but the waiting expectancy of the each category category different significance. Studies of size of the calling population. The size of the calling population, whether it is the consistency of the several subpopulation is considered with the finite or the infinite. If the customers depend on the number of the customers already in existence, the calling population is called as limited or the finite. For example, a finite calling population in the factory only has the four machines which often required repair service and two of them are in working condition. Then at the point in time, if there are only the two machines, that would be the possible required service. Service time distribution. Service time distribution. Loud behavior of the arrival of the customers on arriving at the service systems waiting in the queues until server and does not switch between the waiting line. The caller has the patient customers machines arrived at the maintenance shops are example of the patient, the customers, whether there are the customers who waits for a certain time in queues and queues and service systems without getting service due to the certain reasons. For the impatient customers, for example, a customer has just arrived at the grocery stores and find that the salesmen are busy in serving the customers already in the system. Will either wait for the service till his patency is exhausted or estimate that his waiting time may be excessive and so due immediately to seek service is where lacking customers do not join in the queues either by seeing the number of customers already in the service systems or by the estimating the excessive waiting time for the desired service, reaching customers after joining the queues, waiting for the sometimes in the queues, but due for served on the account of the certain reason. Customers move from one queue to other, hoping to receive service more quickly. Patterns of arrivals at the system. Customers may arrive in the batches such as the arrival of the family at the arrival of the family at the restaurants or the individuals, such as the arrival of the train at a platform. These customers may arrive at the service facility either on a scheduled time by the prior information or an unscheduled time without information. The arrival process of the pattern of the customers. The service system is classified into two categories, static and dynamic. These two are the further classified based on the nature of the arrival rate and the control that can be exercised on the arrival. In the static arrival pattern, the control depends on the nature of the arrival rate. In random arrival, the time it's the times are the random variables, and therefore we need to understand the average and the frequency distributions of the time. In both the cases, the arrival process can be described either by the average arrival rate or by the average interval time. It's between the two consecutive arrivals, the number of the unscheduled arrival to the service facility in some fixed period of the time can be studied by the statistical probability distribution, such as uh, dynamic arrival process is controlled by the both the service facility and the customers. The service facility adjusted its capacity match the change in the service. It does not. It does so by either length staffing level at the different timing of the service. Various service charges such as the telephone call charges at different hours of the day or the week at a different timing or the allowing entry with the appointment. The variations in the service intentions also affect the customer's behavior. They either work or react from the service sentence when they confront the long or the slow moving waiting lines. Performance measure of the cleaning systems. First one is the time. The performance measure systems of the any cube systems which area are generally interested or for the evolutions of the performance of an extensive view systems and for the design of the new systems in terms of the level of the service customers receive as well as the proper utilizations of the service facilities are listed. First one is time related queues for the customers. Average or it is an average or the exit time of an arrival customer has to wait in a queue before beginning the survey. The average or exit time is of an arrival customer spent in the system by the including waiting and the service. This data can be used to make the economic comparisons of the alternative queues of winning systems. Quantitative questions related to the number of the customers, the accepted number of the customers who are in the queues offer the services by the SQ. The expected number of the customers who are in the system either waiting in the queues or beginning survey. This data can be used for finding the customer time spent in the systems. Queuing involving values of the time both customers and service. The probability that an arrival customer has to wait before beginning service. This is also called as a blocking probability. The probability that are the served is a busy at any particular point in the time. This is the proportion of the time that a server actually spend with the customer. The fractions of the time service is a busy. What is the probability of an customer's beginning in the existence when it is in steady state conditions? The probability service denied when an arrival customers can be entered the systems because the field is a full cost related questions. What is it the average cost needed to operate systems per unit of the time? How many servers are needed to achieve cost effectiveness? Sequencing and scheduling. ED, these are the full form of the EDLT. ED, double D is earlier due date. L double D is later due date. SPT means shorter processing time. LPT means longest processing time. FCFS, first come, first serve. The process of time and the due date for the five jobs are given below. For first, we will let's uh, sequencing the job according to the EDD, calculating the total completion time, average flow time, average number of the jobs in the systems, average job lateness, total flow time. If first we will calculate the sequence of the according to the EDD. EDD is the earlier date that is the customer to earn the labor will get the early hours. For that, we will for that we will select the numbers who is lesser from the process from the due date. So in that the minimum smallest number is 17, then 18. So we will go in systematic way calculating sequences. And after, so we will do 17, then 18, 22, 27, 42. After that, we will calculating the flow time and the job lateness. For that, we will first processing time. The processing time was given in the question. For an job lateness, the first one we will get the 0. So we put dash, and for the next, for that we will the f minus d, and f minus d f minus d is the flow time and the due date. For after doing that, we will get the job lateness, and for that, before that, we will have to do the flow time. The flow time was the flow time. Due date. After that, we have to do the due date. Due date is, and then we will get the job lateness, and we have to do the total of all this. processing time is 43 and flow time is 143, and this is the flow time is flow time total is an accomplishment time. And for that, we will do the total completion time is the 43 days. Total flow time is 143 days. And there is a formula for the average flow time. The formula is the total flow time upon number of jobs in a system. The total flow time is 143 of the total of the flow time, and then divided by the pi has the jobs are pi. And the average number of the jobs in the system is formula is total flow time upon total processing time. Average job lateness, total job lateness upon number of jobs in the systems. Discussion. This is the joint sequencing rules for NX2. The N is the number of the jobs, 2 is the two machines, NXM means the number of the jobs, and M means number of the machines. For that, selecting the shortest processing time in either machines. If the machine is the shortest processing time is for the job in first machine, place that the job first in the sequence. If it is at the second machine, place that job in the last of the sequence. Remove the job assigned to the sequence from the further analysis. First, we will do the sequencing the job according to John's rules. Whichever first we will see the whichever is the lower minimum number, from that we will start from first and starting and ending. We will doing that from machine A. Whichever is the lower number from machine A, we will put it in the starting point, and whichever is the lower minimum number from machine B, we will put them from the ending side. From that, for a machine, for overall on the table, means a machine from machine A and B, we will see that 3 from machine A is a lower number, so we will put that in from first point in. As per that, we will put all the numbers, and we will get, as machine 2 are there, so from in and out, we have to do the both from the machines. For the machine 1, we will put 0 as its in time is was 0. Out time is 3. So that then we will do the 3. 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. 8 plus 14. 14 plus 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 9 is, we will get the 23. 23 plus 7 plus 7, 30. 30 plus 8, 38. Then we will for the second, then we will go to the second machines. As if first machine out time is 3, so we will put that the 3 in the machine seconds is time. So that for then 3 plus 6, 9, 9 plus 5. 14. Uh, Same doing that for the machine 2, and then we will see the last has a 42. So the total flow time of the machine is 42, and the ideal time of machine 4, and machine A is 4, and for machine B is 8 hours, and total ideal time is 12. The 12 is the difference between the total machine 1 and machine 2 out times difference. Inventory management. Inventory models. Inventory is the stock of any items or the resource used in an organization. For all the inventory control models discussed in the previous, it is the demand and the lead time are known as the constant. However, if the demand or the lead time is or the both are moved with the certain or certainty, then the random behavior to be described with the most probability distributions of both classification of such models. The signal model, inventory models are used to describe a situation where items can be ordered only once to satisfy the demand for a specific period of the time in situation. No further order can be made to inventory. Inventories can be carried to the next period. After the period is over, there is the cost associated with the stock level over at the end of the period, and the cost of the shortage. For example, items to publications of the calendar, line, newspaper, fashion items, perishable items, flowers, etc. can be carried to the next period. The stock has to be discarded because of the spoilage of the newspaper has to be sold at the various fashion items. In some cases, it is also has to be sorted on the next season fashion item, fire, etc. The type, such type of the problem is also to be known, while the demand is represented of the distributions, also the cost of the shortage during the sales period. It does unite to be shown to be known. Order with the different nature of the inventory items required to or the purchase we discussed. The optimal inventory points format of item against short loss on the customer. stocks, prepare everything, and then writing totally right of it. And materials involving the forecasting, supply management, and inventory this forecasting. In forecasting, activity demand forecasting, planning, raw materials, supply management, developing the strong relationship with the level suppliers, ensuring the stability of raw materials, level of the raw materials, preventing production. The reducing importing costs, working in progress, working progress in the day. Yeah, items that are production process but not the financial effective control reduce the production time and water. Like for example, furniture manufacturing company particular example trade and table our progress that is control our progress identifying the eliminating the production, the water and ensuring the smooth flow of the production process optimization to streamlining the production process to reduce the work in progress level and improve the efficiency, water water process to ensure the smooth flow of work, lean manufacturing, implementing the lean manufacturing principles to reduce the work in progress and improve the production finishing goods. These are the companies their products are ready for the sales, controlling the finishing goods inventory, help in meeting the customers' demands without overproduction. For example, like retail stock of the smartphones and Apple to ensure the availability for customers without overstocking, which ties up the customer capitals and storage cost. Manufacturing finishing the demand forecasting inventory turnover customers and the demand forecasting accurate forecasting helping planning production management level of the finishing goods inventory turnover to ensure the production and so from become jobs like the customers demand everybody then the customers demands to how long stock new cost of situations the maintenance and repair and operations goods short only most items used in the production process but not part of the final product. Proper control ensure the operational efficiency and the time for example, cleaning suppliers and using manufacturing plants are own also manufacturing and now depend the ensure that the production equipment is well and the operational the cost is breakdown. It includes the regular audits, vendor relationship stocks, and was a regular operator, regular operator are available and in good conditions. The vendor relationship establishing the strong relationship with MRO supplier. For that, the relationship stock level the output and stocks like production rely on and brown tire. It is inventory techniques are these are the seven inventory control techniques. First one is efficiency category. They are important are that way for example, if I have a statement of results that belong to category A, they are specialized in treatment for cancer and across them with a high value characteristic of category identify quality and even for the operation the high level. This category items represent a significant portion of the total inventory level. Low quantity this category items make up a small percentage of the total number of the items in inventory. Critical for operations category item and crucial for the company's operations and revenue generation. Management strategy for category or review category so we check it frequently and periodic point will be evolving suitable items control institution which is instituted in the health of the inventory by making sure the items are sensitive to storage and accurate supply relationship building trust between like a suppliers to have check to high value item. Category B. Category B is the pattern that is this is the second set of the value the higher than category C, but lower than the category A product. Right? The value of the total cost of the expected that the is required to be moderate attention and control the higher storage product such as the forward tools, small, now full for under this category. Characteristics of the category B items modeling value. These items represent the moderate portion of the category value. Moderate complexity is a significant of the items. There is important operation category B items are because of the project not quantified and category. Category B managing the inventory supply competition. So, relationship organization tools for the product are there. Need to valid quality that is see quantity. Quantity include the smallest cost we can get cost more than a gap of and pay off the daily see. High quantity, high quantity, they make up the majority of the total volume of items. There is no track of adding non-physical items have no significant operations and do not significantly affect the generation capability of the managing corporate CI. We can reduce the common risk which exercises the layer of cost saving to the inventory level. We are control. Negative remote control measuring the relative cost at the bulk ordering and listing stock checks. Advantages of modern saving management cost reductions is for the total daily cost, total moving cost, can how we can so the benefits greatly improving the cost cash flow or to the very flow to the division has flow for the situation whereby the company constitution the achievement that is stock and financial plan from the set with the stock out like for example organizations have the balance to be done on plan to ensure that the 86 how shareable delivered market from the overstrong because it's going to make value of the jobs communications of the package when orders like that is reduction of the stock and open stock avoid active stock now open stock and for the company's profit resulting about the cost say a loss for each of the projects is so much cash tied up in the holding cost effectively provide a balance between the welfare and the supply solution. improve the supply relationship for the financial of what happens of the stock house of oversold of the bank of the profit and better result to stock out the result to be lost. And this the increase for the satisfaction to the customer. Where the house stocks give so much cash and up is increase in holding cash in the year for the effectively provide a balance between the value of the products and organization. Or a change. For starting certain assumptions are usually we models monitor frequency modify that to involve aspects like taking into the consideration changes in the cost of the orders and operating cost and constantly updating the inputs feed into the ERP operations and transport cost is maintained and uncertainty just in time, just in time necessary system, just time system is technically like full raw materials from suppliers in direct relation to the production requirement. The process of this will the purpose of this process is to increase the effective efficiency overall and control the excellence of the reduce the delivery necessary. Principle of the JIT eliminating where JIT on reducing the excess inventory which can lead to waste in terms of the storage cost of uh, improve the quality by sorting out the defect identify immediately and after sorting defect insights. Enhancing the efficiency, streamlining the production process, set up time to result in more efficient operation cost. Benefit of JIT reduce holding cost by the cost of input at given any given time. Significantly reduce storage cost, decrease waste, lead to less waste in terms of the material time and insight efforts. Overall contribution to the cost saving of quality balance improvement and doing the impact on the effect result in higher quality of the product increase flexibility allowing organization to change the demand and medical conditions. Challenges of JIP accurate demand sustainable precise demand forecasting to ensure that the material arrives just in time for the productions. Supply reliability depend upon suppliers who can deliver quality material on time. Supply chain distribution the supply chain management system as a natural disaster transportation issue can quickly affect JIT operations. Implementations of JIT supply and collaboration farming strong partnership with suppliers to ensure the delivery of the material on time for the streamlining of the operations of production process and increase efficiency and providing training to employee of JIT These are the formula for the EOQ. These are the question for the EOQ. Annual demand stand for D. Ordering cost stand for CO. And unit cost stand for P. Price per unit cost. Are the case study of the State Electricity Board. The State Electricity Board is planning to construct a new plant for the next 10 years. It is possible to construct for 4 types of electric power facility streams plant using the coal for energy hydroelectricity plant with a no helping the company in developing a 10 years plan that would detail the capacity of each type of the plant that it should be built. Minimize developing an LP model and solve it to minimize the total discounting cost. However, there is a restricted that no more than rupees 14,000 million can be used for investment in plants over 10 years. For that, we will use X1 to X4, as X1 is the number of strings plant, X2 is the number of hydro, X3 is the number of small savior plants, and X4 is the number of hydro life saviors plants. Minimizing, first we will minimize the total discounting cost over 10 years, that is minimizing and mini Z, and then we will the total generation must be at least 2 billions. An investment budget limit is the total investment cost is less than equal to the 14,000 billion. For the case study 2, we will see the Oil Indian Corporation. In this case study, there is a case where we have to drill for the oil or not to drill for the oil. We will get loss or we will get benefit for drilling the land. For if we drilling the land, we will get oil or we will get the dry land. If we drilling and we will get oil, we will sell it and drilling it. If we sell, we will get 90K plus minus 30K. We will get the 60K. And if we are drilling it and we will get dry or the oil, we will get 335K. And if we drilling it and we will get dry land, then we will selling it and drilling it. If we are selling it, we will get 16K. But if we are drilling it, we will again get dry or oil. In that dry we will get minus 1.8. And if we are getting oil, we will get 93.8. And for if we are not drilling the land, we will sell and drill. If we are selling, we will get the 19K. If we are drilling, we will get the dry or oil. If we will get the dry, we will get the third. We are getting the dry, we will get the 70 minus 75. And if we are getting the oil, we will get the plus 175. So oil is 25%, sale is plus 90K, and cost is minus 100K. And oil is 800K, accepted minus 30K. So dry and dry is 80%, oil and oil is 60%. Thank you.